In this tutorial, we're going to be adding some graphics for our interactivity for our loop trail animation here. Now we need to create a new layer, so I'm going to move my recording window here. I'm going to create a new layer, and right now it's called layer 8. I'm going to move it up to the top above title, and I'm going to double click on that layer, and I'm going to call it buttons, just so I know exactly what content is going to go on that layer. Now I'm going to create a button that's just at frame 10, that just appears at frame 10, that will be for me beginning this animation, and then one at the very end which allows me to replay the animation. So let's right click and choose create insert keyframe, and that keyframe right there is right now existing all the way to frame 50, and we really don't want that. And you'll see why in just a minute. But we can at least create our button here. Now, in order to start off with a button, we can start off with using, I like the rectangle primitive tool myself, just because it gives you a little bit more flexibility than a regular rectangle tool. And I'm going to click and drag, creating a rectangle here in the middle of my screen. Now, it's using some color settings that I could have set up before, but I can always change afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and just give it a different look than it currently has. I just want to make sure that it's clearly visible here on the timeline. I might go ahead and lock some of these together, and I'm going to give it a little rounded rectangle, just a little bit of a rounded rectangle. If I click back on the black arrow and click off of it, you'll see there is the rectangle primitive that I've just drawn here, and that's going to be a nice shape for a button here that I might use to play my animation in just a minute. Right now it's a little large, so you can use the black arrow, or you can also use the Q key to get the free transform to make your button about the size that you think it should be, as a button on your screen. So it's just a design choice that you want to make. Now I'm going to make this particular object into a button. In order to do that, let's right click on the object that I just had. I'm going to choose convert to symbol, and we're going to go to type movie clip and then change that to button, and this is going to be play is going to be the name of this button, play button. Let's hit OK. And we have now converted this to a button. If I look in my properties, you'll see that it says button right here, and it has instance name at the top. Now I'm going to double click on that button to go inside of it, and you'll notice that I'm now on a new timeline. It says up, over, down, and hit. Well, these are the 4 different button states of a button. Now if you notice, when I'm inside this button, I now have a rectangle primitive here. So unfortunately, rectangle primitives don't give you as many filter effects and everything else as I'd like. So I'm actually going to convert what's inside the button into a movie clip. So let's do that by right-clicking and choosing Convert to Symbol. And I'm going to change this back to a movie clip. And this will be my play button background. So it's a pretty long name right now, but that's just so it's very exact for what it is. And you'll notice now I have a symbol here. Well, the cool thing about this thing being a symbol is that I can go down to the bottom of my properties, and I'm going to apply a filter to it, such as a little bit of bevel. And I'm going to change the properties here just so it's not quite as strong. Strength is going to be kind of low, maybe 30%. And now I'm going to take that up keyframe, and using the Alt drag method, I'm going to duplicate it to the overstate, click back on that button. I'm going to go back to the bottom of my properties, and I'm going to add and adjust the color, and I'm just going to brighten this up a little bit. You'll see now I have a nice little up and over state for my button. And let's go ahead back to the main level. We'll go back to scene 1, and you'll see that we have that button there, sitting right there. And I'm going to go ahead and save my work, and then we'll show you how this button is tested in the next tutorial.